Good evening, folks, and welcome to Cats and Conspiracies. It's your man Codders here. That's me, doing what I can to bring you uh, hidden gems in the form of films you may not have seen, films that I believe deserve far more love and far more recognition than they've got. Because let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with Hollywood. I really am, and I think they're putting the final nails in the coffin now. And I think it's all becoming highly uh, irrelevant. So what was I ranting about today? I was having a real rant about all these legacy sequels that are out there at the minute. It does seem to be the current trend with these legacy sequels. If it was just one film, or maybe two films, no, two is stretching it too much. If we just had one film where it was something amazing, 20 or 30 years ago, yeah, let's go 30 years ago, something incredible, and they managed to come up with some kind of sequel to a long, not forgotten for us, but for the normies perhaps, a long since forgotten film. And they managed to come up with an incredible story that justifies its existence and has every right to exist. Then maybe you'd be like, oh my God, that was incredible when that happened. And you could perhaps say that was passion, that was creativity, and that was people that had an idea and a way that they could explore that story, respecting the original without messing up the lore or the story or destroying characters that we loved and still love. Then perhaps we could allow it. Perhaps it would be okay. But it just seems it's everything. Everything you've ever loved, they seem to want to do this to. Let's bring back some sequel from 30 years ago, and it's happening with so many films, and that is why I feel there really isn't any artistic merit or creativity behind this. Again, it's a product just like modern Hollywood, which is devoid of creativity and idea. It's just product, create product, consume product, move on to the next. Now that they're doing that with all of these legacy sequels, I feel it's just become the same thing. It's just product, product, product. Um, and some of the normies seem to enjoy it, and it's quite depressing how many people don't even know the film that they're basing it off of. I was shocked reading about 28 years later a film I have negative interest in seeing doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned, because for me 28 Days Later is an incredible film. It came along and took a genre. Now I know that they're not zombies. I know they're infected. They're not zombies. So let's not make that mistake of saying that, because that is irritating when people say that. But they have a lot of the characteristics of zombies. And it took that genre, kind of flipped it around a little bit, sped them up so that they could run fast. They had some speed behind them. They were scary. They were powerful. They were not easy to defeat. And it just completely gave us this new story, which was amazing. And it took it. This is one of my issues with, I know I'm going to say zombie again, but certain zombie type films. Just dropped my pen there. Where is it? Come back. There we go. With a lot of these zombie type films, and even things like The Walking Dead, if there is nothing else going on, the story just becomes people getting away from the infected or the zombies, people running away. With 28 Days Later, it opened that up, because what we had was they were escaping the infected, following this signal, which they believed might be their only source of hope. It sounded professional. And when they actually got to their destination, with a few pretty crazy, amazing things that happened along the way, they run into these ex-army people, and clearly they're insane. Perhaps they're not all insane. Some of them do appear to have a bit of heart, but it becomes very clear very quickly that our little team of plucky heroes is in serious trouble. and it's hard to say what's worse, the infected or the crazy people they've just run into. And to see those characters develop, again, character development is just missing from modern cinema. I'm on a full rant mode now, so fucking buckle up. Character development is just full missing. Like they'll plonk a character in front of you, and you're supposed to care about them within 30 seconds. Then they'll kill them, and you're supposed to have an emotional reaction to that. Well, how can you have an emotional reaction to someone dying that you haven't had a chance to get to know? 28 days later, we got to know and love these characters. We saw their heart and hope and compassion. We cared about them. It was like a little family unit, all working together to try and get to where they thought this salvation lied. And when the dad was infected, we saw that drop of blood fall down from where that crow was pecking on that dead body. This is how well I know this film. I've seen it a lot. This is a very rewatchable film, a fantastic film. And we saw that drop of blood fall down and land in his eye. You could feel the collective, like, oh, gutted. Like, we didn't want to lose this guy. And he starts to change. And then what happens? The soldiers blow him away in front of his daughter. You know, this is some pretty horrendous stuff. So then what do we have? A bit like Aliens. We've got this almost like surrogate family there. Almost like created for us on screen. And we care about these people. And we feel protective over them, and Jim can see that these girls are going to be in trouble, going by what these guys are saying. And when he's led away and they take him away to kill him, and he manages to escape, and then he just goes full on like rage mode himself, just like fired up and just completely powered up by what these guys are planning on doing to these women, which is just horrendous. And the rage just completely takes over. And the scene where that music, which I believe is called, hold on, let me remember. I think it's called In a Heartbeat, I think. That the way that music builds up slowly as he's looking down from the ceiling, and he sees that guy grab it, and then Jim just drops down through the ceiling and grabs hold of him, just smashes his head against the wall. And then in one of the most craziest scenes in the film, I mean, I don't know how this is filmed, actually. I have no idea how this is filmed. It looks incredible. Plunges his thumbs into the soldier's eyes. It is just horrific. And Jim's just like soaked in blood. He's gone into full like animal rage mode. And it's just incredible to see that feeling of like you're on the edge of rage, and you don't even know where this is going to take you, in order to protect these vulnerable people, which we, the audience, we feel that protection over, because we care about them. We've got to know these people along this journey. We've seen they're good people, they're caring people. So yeah, incredible scene. And then of course they get away in the taxi. The scene cuts. It says 28 days later. The scene opens, and they're in looks like they're in a little cottage, and looks like they're up north somewhere. And they're pulling out this big sheet. The plane flies over. They've written help on the land. She says, you know, do you think he saw us this time? There's hope. There's a feeling of achievement. And we also see the infected dying as well as they starve to death. So we can see that good things are going to come. They've made it through the worst of this. And it's just an incredible film. Anyway, getting back to the point I was making here, I was amazed to see how many people were commenting about 28 years later. They were like, well, I've not seen Days or Weeks, so this was new to me. I find that incredible. Like, how have you not watched? How are you going to go into the cinema watching what it will clearly be an inferior film, and you've not seen 28 Days Later? Like, how is that possible? I just find that crazy. So yeah, getting back to my rant on these legacy sequels, 28 years later, no interest whatsoever. For me, there should never have been a sequel to this at all, in the form of Weeks Later. And yet I know everyone's like, oh my God, it's got the greatest opening scene like ever. Yeah, that's a pretty good scene. And in a standalone film, that would be cool to watch Robert Carlyle as he escapes and all the people are chasing after him, and he gets on the boat and speeds off and abandons his wife and all that stuff. That would have been a cool scene in any other film. But it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. In that universe of the infected, as far as I was concerned, they figured out how long it would take the infected to starve to death, and they were able to. We have to assume escape England, going by the fact there were jets flying around, and it left you feeling hopeful. But to bring it back, oh, actually, no, the virus, it came back again. Yeah, it came back again 28 weeks later, it came back again. And now, 28 years later, oh, no, it's back again, it's back again. I don't buy it. It ruins the lore for me. It really does. And the stuff I am reading about 28 years later, I like to bear. If you're wondering why, if this guy clearly is a miserable git and he hates all these new movies, so why the hell does he read about them and talk about them? Well, I don't know. I just think I like to talk to myself. And also, because something exists, we have this form of art, of filmmaking, and as bad as it is, I'm still interested and I'm still looking out there to try and find something. And I don't know. I feel very, very black-pilled about lots of things at the minute. Modern movies being one of them, from big Hollywood. I don't know. It's almost like a car crash. You can't help but look. You shouldn't. You don't want to, but you just can't help but look at it. Some people just want to watch the world burn. But some of the things I'm hearing about 28 years later, there's different types of infected now. There's like ones that crawl around on the floor, big fat ones. There's giant alpha ones. Apparently, they're even having sex and giving birth. No, I'm not having this at all. And as far as I'm aware, the storyline is they're on some small island off the coast of England, and the infected are on the mainland. I have no idea why they feel the need to go to the mainland. But apparently this guy wants to take his kid there so the kid can get his first kill of one of these infected. Now, if you go back to 28 days later, these guys were extremely fast, powerful, and dangerous. And one speck of blood from the infected, and you're infected, that's it. It's over. You're dead. So why in the name of hell would you take a kid to get his first kill to the mainland, knowing that could be certain death, with bows and arrows? It's not like you've got machine guns. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Oh, I just can't see the point of it. I really can't. It hurts me. It depresses me. I just can't stand these legacy sequels. Stick it in the comments, guys. If you can think of a single one of these dragged up legacy sequels, Beverly Hills Cop, Beetlejuice, oh my God, there's what have I seen? Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. I've got a problem with Liam Neeson, but go and look at the trailer for that Naked Gun. It just looks terrible. I really can't. And the humor is not going to land now amongst the most famously unhumorable audience ever. They're not going to like it. Just on what I'm really fully ranting now. Just go with it, guys. If you enjoy listening to a guy rambling on and ranting into a microphone about a load of crap, hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. But one scene in particular really irritated me in the trailer for that Naked Gun. Go and have a look at it yourself. There was a lot of like wordplay and stuff in these old slapstick films, which is great. But there's a scene in it where Liam Neeson's in a room and there's a woman in there, and the wordplay is he says to her, he goes, he goes, please take a chair. And she obviously does it literally and grabs a chair and walks out of the room with it. Now, it wouldn't even be that funny if he'd done it properly, but that doesn't make sense because no one says, you come into him, oh, come in, take a chair. Nobody says that. What do you say? People say, take a seat. So if he'd have at least said, take a seat, and she'd have walked away with the chair, it might have made a little bit more sense, but it still wouldn't have been funny. It's just, I just can't deal with it. A horrible rumor I'm hearing is a remake. Brace yourselves for this because this is going to hurt a lot of people. I can't confirm this at the minute, but I'm hearing about a remake of The Shawshank Redemption. Is there anything more perfect than The Shawshank Redemption? It's like saying, do you know what? I think we should repaint the Sistine Chapel. I don't like it the way it is. Paint over it. I reckon I can do it better. I think I could recarve Michelangelo's David better than it is actually. No, you can't. You can't carve David better. You can't repaint the Sistine Chapel better, and you can't do anything to improve the Shawshank Redemption, which remains perfect. So anyway, that's me ranting a lot about what I hate. So what don't I hate? This. I see you. I love this film. Okay. And I feel like not many people are aware of it because when I mention it to people, usually gets onto the subject of they haven't seen it, and then I am badgering them to watch it because I know they will love it. And yes, of course, I have my own copy because if you love it, another rant. If you love it, get the physical copy of it, whatever it is, series, films, doesn't matter because they're gonna mess around with it, they're gonna delete it, and they're doing it to films already, cutting little bits out, editing bits for modern audiences. You know, the sort of people that have no soul, no sense of humor, and no enjoyment of anything. Those sort of people. So get physical media, guys. Get it. I See You is such a cool film, which is it's actually hard to categorize this film. It's part horror, part supernatural, perhaps. It is detective, mystery, and I can't say too much without giving too many spoilers away, but the twists in this film are relentless. Every time you think you have been hit with the final twist, there is like four major twists in this film. The first time I watched this, I went in totally blind, completely blind. I knew nothing about it. I was just going through films, doing what I do, trying to dig out films, and I came across this, put it on, and from the opening scene, I was like, okay, this is creepy. What is going on here? And I was kind of into it fairly early on. And when I started to see this potential supernatural element developing, I'm like, okay, I'm loving this. I've got supernatural, I've got a detective, I've got a missing kid. What the hell is going on here? No idea. So, as you can see there in the picture, you've got Helen Hunt, John Tenney, and Judah Lewis in this. Now, if I have no criticisms of this movie because I love it. If I have one thing that I would not say is a criticism, it's kind of a distraction, which is hard not to see, is Helen Hunt's face. I don't know what's happened, but she has had some serious work done, and it's not turned out too well. And it's very distracting every time she's on the scene because she looks strange. It's really hard to look away from her. There's another guy in this film that you will see as the film progresses. Um, his name's Owen Teague, and he's a very unique looking guy. And he's actually briefly, I believe, in The Empty Man. Now, if you are aware of The Empty Man, that's another film. I'm saving that one. I'm going to talk about it at some point because it's very special to me. It's very close to my heart. I love it, and I watch it regularly. I love that film. But you may spot the same Owen Teague in this film as you do in The Empty Man. But yeah, aside from Helen Hunt's strange face, this film deserves, and I think this film will have a bit of a cult following. Actually, I think it will. I think it'll be a future cult classic. I don't think it's going to go away. I think, if anything, much like The Shawshank Redemption, actually, it gained its following, its popularity from people that watched it, and then passed it on. I think The Shawshank Redemption made more money from VHS sales than it ever did from the cinema. So it's hard to describe the storyline of I See You without giving away these mega twists that are in it. But I'll just give you a rough idea. You've got a kid that goes missing. The detective is married to Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt has had some kind of affair. There's a lot of tension in the house. The kid hates her. The husband's not happy with her. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. Husband's investigating this missing kid. It turns out there was a serial killer some time back who kind of went away, and now he's come back, leaving these calling cards of this little green penknife where he kills these people. And so you're watching this film, and initially you've got a potential haunting in their house, or something weird is going on in Helen Hunt's house and the detective's house. All the while he's investigating this missing kid. About I say less than halfway into the movie, I reckon about just under halfway in, you're sitting there quite relaxed, just watching this film, and all of a sudden there is absolutely there's no warning, there's nothing to tell you. This film does a 180, and suddenly it flips. The filming style changes, and you're now looking at a kind of camcorder found footage style. It's not found footage, but that's how it's being shown. And the first time I saw it, I was like, hang on a minute, have I missed something? What's happened here? And all of a sudden you get this incredible flip of storyline, and then you start to see something from a completely different angle, and it actually takes a bit of time for you to catch up and for you to adjust. Okay, I see what's going on here. But man, is this film creepy. This film gave me the creeps. It's certainly not a jump scary film. It's a creepy film. There are so many of these like long, haunting shots in this film. I'm not sure how it's done. I don't know if it was done by drone or whatever it was, but these really long, haunting shots, which I just love. And you're not really a spoiler because it's on the picture there, but that face that is above Helen Hunt there, if that face does not creep you out, there must be something wrong. You must be some seriously stern stuff, because that face you will see is beyond creepy. And there is a phrase revealed in this film which describes an activity that apparently people do, which I looked up. I thought, is this actually a thing? Is this real? And I looked it up. Yes, it is real, and people actually do it. And oh my God, the thought that people could be doing this around you, now that's creepy. Twist after twist in this gets revealed, and you start to see things from different angles which explain things. If you think you are going to figure this film out, think again. It's very, very unlikely you're going to figure this out as you're going along. When I first watched it, I immediately knew this was going to require a rewatch, possibly looking up a few ICU explained videos, because it's just relentless how many things are going on in this film. The feeling of unease, being watched, just creepy as you're watching this film. It does need to be seen. I think it's criminal that so many people haven't seen this film. With all the trash that is in the cinema right now, the modern Hollywood is creating, go and watch ICU. Go and watch this film. You'd think I'm in it or sponsored by it the way I'm going on about it, but I really, really want to get the word out there, and I want as many people to see this film as possible. Because what you'll do, you'll watch it, you're going to pass it on, then you're going to start to talk about it, then you're going to go and watch explain videos, then you're going to try and figure it out, you're going to watch it again. It's almost like chainmail. It just has to be passed on. And if you don't fully understand it at the end, go and do a rewatch and figure it out, and certainly watch an explained video. There's quite a few on YouTube of people just breaking it down into sections so that it makes a lot more sense. But absolutely fantastic film that pisses over anything Hollywood is putting out now. And I think the makers of this film and everybody involved need a lot of recognition. And there is a couple of points in this film which, even on a second viewing, I still wasn't too sure about why people reacted the way they did. And then I finally figured it out. When you know what you know at the end and you rewatch it, then it makes sense why one of these characters in the film reacts the way that he does when he sees another one of the characters. You're like, why? I don't understand what's happening here. When you know what you know at the end, you will understand why he reacts the way he does. So guys, I'm going to shut up because I've been banging on for far too long here. Like I say, guys, these videos are my therapy. This is how I get my rants out. But please go and watch ICU. And if you have seen it, stick a comment down below. If you do go and watch it and come back, definitely let me know what you think of it. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and all that jazz if you want to come and see a man ranting about the state of current cinema, and also bringing you some gems that you are going to love. See you next time, guys.